Do you think he might have come back better? This preparation, Harry Lawton, his syndicator, was quite adamant during the spring when he was racing so well that he would be a better horse this time round.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's a bigger horse and he's stronger. He was quite lean in the spring. I think the best thing that they did was to put him away after the Spring Champion Stakes. If he'd gone to Melbourne, they wouldn't have had a horse left, and he's really matured now as a late 3-year-old.
The AJC Derby is no doubt his main target, and that along with Shogun Lodge. Well, we saw him run such a good race yesterday. Both those horses proved to be a cut above the rest yesterday, didn't they, the way they performed?
Yeah, they were both good runs. I mean, Shogun Lodge is probably a bit fat too, as Fairway was, but just probably the circumstances of the race made the difference, where Shogun Lodge made a longer run, and I think Shane was probably riding to the pattern of racing and trying to get him close by the time he got to the home turn. But I think if I'd have gone at the same time as Shogun Lodge done, I would have knocked up. But it's just I got the set behind him and waited a little bit longer and got the split through the middle. I think it probably made a bit of difference.
Brian, it's Richard Friedman. I just wanted to know, when you're riding Fairway, what sort of a horse is he to ride? Is he a relaxed horse? Does he drop the bit, or does he want to get on the bit at any stage in a race?
He can get on the bit at times. Those races late last spring, the Spring Champion Stakes and the one before that, I think it was the Gloaming, he got on the bit a bit. The pace was a little bit slower in those races, and he wanted to over race a little bit. He was caught out a little bit deep and he had no cover. So he can go a little bit keen in longer races, but these races at the moment he's going pretty well. But I think once he gets over a bit longer, he'll pull a bit.
Which way do you prefer to ride him, in behind, or do you prefer to have him right on top of the speed?
I prefer to have him in behind. I think he hits the line a little bit stronger, but it just depends on the way the races run. I'll be happy to ride him in front if it suits me.
Sure.
Brian, how did he handle the going yesterday?
He handles it quite good. He gets through it very well.
I think it's a good guide for jockeys watching Brian York ride him there yesterday. Didn't panic with the whip whatsoever. And balance tends to win races more on the softer going, do you think, Brian?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you've got to hold on to their heads. I mean, if you let the heads go and go wailing with the whip, they're going to get unbalanced, and you'll lose half a length or a length on them, if they get unbalanced.
Brian, the other thing I notice about him, he just wants to get his melon up a bit. Going to the line under pressure. It'll cost him a photo finish one day.
It possibly will, yeah. That's just his natural gait. I mean, when he's on the bit, he actually drops it a little bit.
Yeah.
He comes down, but when he gets under pressure and you've got to go for him, his head just sneaks up a wee bit.
Yeah.
But what he loses with getting his head up, he probably makes up with courage, because he's a real bulldog.
And a great bunch of owners too. By gee, they love him.
Oh, they're a great bunch of blokes, actually. Yeah, some of them it's their first horse, so they've had a great introduction to racing.
Won't be their last.
I'm sure not.
All right, now
we're going to take a break, actually, John.
All right.
Sorry to jump in there.
That's all right.
We've got Kenny's comment coming up, so we might take that break now. We'll be back with more of Racing Retro and the continuation of our look at the Warwick Farm program, Kenny's comment and all that coming your way. But as we go to a break, here's more of Fairway.
Over just in front of Condotti and Shogun Lodge levelling up Fairway the inside. Over Condotti, Fairway bursting up on the fence. Fairway grabbed the lead and a great win by Fairway. He won the Hobart Bill Stakes.
Talk in Sydney recently that we use the word champion too freely in racing. I don't really know why. In boxing, there's a different champion in every weight division. In the National Athletics or Swimming Championships, there's a champion after every race. And if we can't use the word champion, I'm battling to find a word to describe that champion New Zealand mare, Sunline. She can win in the wet, she can win in the dry. She's now won over $3.6 million in prize money, more than any other mare in Australian history. She's had 21 starts, she's won 15. She's won the best 1600 metre race in Australasia, the Doncaster. She's won the best weight for age race in Australia, the Cox Plate. Yesterday at Warwick Farm, she was resuming after a 3-month spell in the Apollo Stakes. She looked above herself in the enclosure, All the smarties thought she'd need a run. Halfway down the straight, in the words of her jockey Greg Childs, she was paddling. She was gone. She was hanging out off the track. She was getting her head up in the air, and she was there to be beaten. But like a heavyweight boxer who refused to give in, she just kept fighting back. I'm proud to call Sunline a champion, and if you don't call her a champ, I wonder who you do call champions.
Well, I'd have to agree with that. I think she is a champion, and I don't know why the public don't warm to Sunline as much as they had to Might and Power or Octagonal or someone like that, because her record is approaching that now, and it's probably because the McKee family who train her are low-key people. They're not out there in the face of the media all the time. They're not promoting the mare. So I think it's a bit harder for the public to actually respond to that, but they should, because everything Ken said about that mare is correct. She is an absolute champion, and I think she can take over the mantle of the next star racehorse that the public will follow, and, you know, racing needs those sorts of horses.
Richard, the crowd yesterday warmed quite significantly to Sunline. Round of applause as she returned to scale. I think the public are probably more fond of her in Sydney than they are in Melbourne. For what reason, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think that happens from time to time, Joe. You do get a horse that's more popular in one city than the other, but I'm glad to see that the people are recognising her now.
Have you ever seen a more athletic mare in your life? She looks like a gelding, doesn't she?
She is an absolutely magnificent example of a thoroughbred, isn't she, Brian?
Yeah, I love the horse. I mean, I think she's probably one of the champion mares about at the moment. When it gets wet, she's probably a near unbeatable, because she's as good on the wet as she is on the dry.
That's right.
Hey, wouldn't she suit your style of riding?
I'd love to ride her, mate. Can you help me out?
I'll bet you would. 15 out of 21 in winning yesterday's Apollo Stakes Group 2.
Speed, and Adam is starting to scoot through with Al Mansour on the fence as they get going. Pride and Power, the leader. He's up alongside the champion mare Sunline, who goes through to join him now, with Al Mansour going to third. Adam fourth, staging fifth. One away, Mr. Innocent, Bonanova and Higher a bit wide. 2 lengths Referral, Pastor Express, Final Fantasy, South Bend and Tie the Knot, 10 off the lead. It's Sunline at the 900 metres mark, ambling up on the fence to lead. Pride and Power, the bolter, a clear second. Al Mansour on the fence, a neck away. Adam behind those, Mr. Innocent inside of the mare, staging higher between runners, travelling on the bit. 2 lengths Bonanova, 2 lengths Referral, Pastor Express, 2 lengths Pastor Express now losing a bit of ground from Final Fantasy, Tie the Knot, and South Bend last of all. Charles leaning against the mare, coming to the bend. Sunline, he gave her a bit more leather now, and she went clear by over a length on Al Mansour. Adam was next, staging to the outside. High's lost his spot. He's under pressure, chasing from Mr. Innocent and Referral. Around the bend, Sunline in front. Charles riding confidently. Had a peep over his shoulder. He's 2 lengths on Adam and staging, running on. High's under pressure from Mr. Innocent and Referral. Sunline in front. Not a great deal of juice in the tank. Adam's a little bulldog. He won't go away from Higher. Adam's levelling up to Sunline. Adam trying to get on terms, but Sunline, like the champion mare she is, she responds, dig deeps, and she draws away. Sunline's won it from either Adam or Higher. They were followed by Mr.
21 starts, 15 wins, 3 seconds, 3.6 million, thank you. 7-4 favourite, 13-2 Adam and 7-2 Higher. And gosh, there were some good runs behind them. Tie the Knot and Referral included.
Okay, we're going to have what Steve McKee had to say after the race. Joe, you caught up with Steve McKee, so here's what he had to say.
You know, we thought when we left home that if it was a good track, she would be, you know, very, very hard to beat. When the rain came, of course, we were a little bit worried about her fitness, but she pulled through again.
She felt the pinch coming to the line?
She did, yeah, but then the funny thing is she was probably going away again, just over the line. So, yeah, all in all, it was a very good run.
And everything augurs well for the Doncaster Handicap, her main target?
Yeah, it does at this stage. You know, we'll just see how our next couple of runs go, and you know, there's plenty of options with the All-Aged and the Queen Elizabeth as well. But yeah, Doncaster looks a nice race again.
What's her next mission?
Probably running the Coolmore on the first, but you know, that's highest handicap weight, and so we'll probably compare her weight with the rest and see how we go.
I think the top weight maximum is something like 60 kilos. She's clearly the best mare racing in Australia at the moment, so she would deserve to carry something like that and probably still win with that.
Well, you know, we hope the handicap gives a little bit less anyway, but then we'll take our chance from there. But yeah, obviously she'll be top weights, just in case of what she does get.
If she was given 60, would you still run her, Steve?
Probably not. No, I can't say that. I don't know, really. It's up to, you know, the owners and how she is at the time. We've got the George Rider a week later, so we're in no panic to run in it.
She looks in magnificent order. This time of her preparation, is she the best she's ever been, do you think?
I think starting off her preparation, she definitely is. You know, we haven't done a heck of a lot of speed work with her, but it just, and how she is in herself and how she's been doing, I'd say she is.
Hey, Richard, Simon, you know, to have a good horse is always something special, but to have a top mare is extra special.
Oh, absolutely, because you know, as soon as she stops racing and earning all that beautiful prize money, she's just going to go to stud and earn you 3 times more. So from a purely financial point of view, she's an absolute cracker, and she's going to have an influence for a long time to come. I was just amused to listen to Steve McKee there saying, oh, we probably wouldn't run her with 60 kilos. Yeah, I'll bet. Well, I reckon if she got 60 kilos in the Coolmore Classic, the rest of the field will probably be down on the bottom limit weight, and I reckon they'd be very keen to run with that. That's
Richie, but
why they thought of the race.
Isn't she a thrill to watch? But she must be a thrill to ride too, because she bounces out of the gate. When she gets into a gear, she sits up out of the way. Once she gets rolling along, she's up on the speed. And then you watch a jockey like Greg Childs ride her. She's very happy to compete too. She waits for something to tackle her, and she tends to dig in deep and find that sixth gear that your average racehorse doesn't
She's
have.
a cracker. And I just wanted to ask Brian if I saw the head-on just previously, and she seemed about 50 metres from the line, went to duck out sharply. Was she shying from the whip? Did you detect anything there, Brian?
Yeah, Richard, I actually noticed that myself because I wasn't far behind. I could see her duck out, and I don't really know why she did that. I think maybe she did duck out with the whip. There's no other reason for it.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted to challenge.
Yeah, no, it was a great run. Yeah, I was really pleased with this run. Yeah. He was one of the few horses all day that made up any sort of ground from the back. Yeah. And his and Ty the Notch running the race were the best. If anything, I thought that Referrals was, even though Ty the Knot finished in front of him, I thought Referrals' run was nearly as good because he didn't handle the ground at any stage, whereas Ty the Knot can handle the wet.
Now, when Corey went to Hong Kong, obviously there was a discussion about the replacement rider. Are you sticking with him?
I hope to. I actually chased him because I knowing that Corey was going away. I like the horse and I think he's probably a good chance in a race like the Doncaster. So yeah, I have to stick with him, but that's all up to the connections.
Now, High finished third in the race yesterday, Brian. I thought his run was terrific. It simply didn't handle the heavy going.
No, there'd be a lot of horses that didn't handle it, and probably a very good run, the 3-year-old anyway.
Well, you can have your Apollo Stakes and your Hobartville Stakes. Here is the highlight of the day yesterday at Warwick Farm, the Wiggle Quality. 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. The winner is Stella Marie, trained by Miracle Mal and ridden by Terrific Troy. Here they are turning for home.
And Mary McCree, the deepest runner from Rainbow Bubbles in the straight, and Flickering Fires after Stella Marie, who's got up on the inside to go to the front. Mary McCree and Prenuptial down the centre. Stella Marie in front. Mary McCree the chaser. Mary McCree's coming home well, and Little Paddy is whooshing down the centre. Stella Marie in front. Little Paddy's flying with Mary McCree. Mary McCree to Stella Marie. Stella Marie kicks and wins. Stella Marie's won it, and you reckon the rider's happy. Mary McCree second. Little Paddy a photo third from Prenuptial.
She's a gutsy filly, Stella. 25 to 1, 20 to 1 and 11 to 1. Flickering Fire favourite at 3s. Now, jockey Troy Phillips, late last year and early into the new year, had a horrific run of bad luck. It came to some sort of an end when he rode a winner at Kembla Grange at a Saturday meeting for Kim Moore, a horse called King of Swords. And after that win, Wayne Harris caught up with him.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. I mean, put a spoiler on the whole day. Had the kids' presents stolen out of my car, and they took Game Boys and stuff like that. Things were tight with compensation money, so we're living over Christmas, and we saved up for the Game Boys, and that got stolen, so we're pretty heartbroken about that. But like I said, it wasn't an arm or a limb, and didn't dampen the sprite for life anyway.
Stella Marie in front, Mary McCree the chaser. Mary McCree's coming home well, and Little Paddy is whooshing down the centre. Stella Marie in front. Little Paddy's flying with Mary McCree. Mary McCree to Stella Marie. Stella Marie kicks and wins. Stella Marie's won it, and you reckon the rider's happy. Mary McCree.
Well, I'm not sure who I should fire the question at first, so I'll let one of you decide.
If it's an intelligent question, fire it at me, Joe.
As long as it hasn't got more than 3 syllables.
If it's a stupid question, fire it at Troy.
I never ask stupid questions, do I?
Oh, I've heard a few.
Yeah, I'll give him a hand to pull his foot out of his mouth.
Joe, What do you want to know, Darwin?
Well, let's talk about Troy firstly. Absolute elation when you returned to scale.
Yeah, I dreamt about this last night, believe it or not. I couldn't sleep all last night. About 3 or 4 times through the night I got up thinking this filly's going to win. I don't know why, but I just know it in my heart she's going to win.
Do you have that same dream?
That must have been why he wasn't at the track this morning. That must have been why you weren't at the track. No, actually, Joe, I really love the filly. She's been a great thing for me. I've loved her from day one, and she's got plenty of ability. And I was really happy. I couldn't believe she was 30 to 1. And I was really happy that Troy could win on her. I really was. He's been riding a bit for me lately and he's been going really good. And there was no reason why I couldn't put him on her today just because it was a listed race. It doesn't matter. He can hold his own, given the opportunity, and he come through with flying colours today. It was great.
So she didn't altogether surprise you this afternoon?
Joe, I said to Troy when I rang him the other day that she's a lovely filly, got tons of potential, and no, it didn't totally surprise me that she did win. There was a huge question mark over the wet weather, over the track. But I said to Troy, if she can handle the track, she'll be in it with a real good fight. And that's exactly what happened.
I don't know what your strapper's name. What's your strapper's name, Lenny?
Don't hold that again.
No, honestly, it's just a funny thing to talk about going through the going.
Yeah.
As the last thing I said to him before we went out, I said, get through this like Sunline, baby.
Well, I tell you what, she got through it good. She handled it good, and everything fell into place. Troy rode it beautiful. We changed the tactics. I wanted to ride her quiet initially, simply because I wanted to know if she can run a 1.25 miles later on. But the way the conditions were, I said, Troy, go forward, and he did just that, and it was great.
This win very special to you, Troy, as well. You haven't had a lot of luck in recent months?
No, things haven't been fantastic, but like I said, the glass is always half full, Joe. You know, you can never look at it half empty. There's always something better coming along. You can never get off. If you don't get yourself off your own feet, no one's going to do it for you.
You wanted to dedicate this win to somebody in particular?
Yeah, to Larry Cassidy, you know. Just after the ordeal I had with Christmas and the kids' presents about a month or so ago, Larry, of his own accord, rang me and asked me to meet him on the way to the races, and he produced Nintendo Game Boys from the kids and replaced all their presents that were stolen. Honestly moved me to tears. And, you know, it was just a nice gesture from someone who didn't have to do it, and just let you know that out in the world there that there really are nice people. They're not hard to find.
Well, congratulations to you both. And is the Stella Marie Troy Phillips partnership something that will continue long into the future now?
Doncaster.
I hope so. Well, she won't be going to Doncaster. I want to take her to Brisbane, Joe. I think it's some lovely... We haven't rushed her up to now, and there's no reason to start rushing her. She'll probably run at Hawkesbury in a fortnight in that Princess Series race, and from there we'll just play it by ear and hopefully go to Brisbane. It'll be great. Nice time to go there.
Pop up on me 10.
Yeah, take your surfboard, just in case.
Brian, you rode that filly at Randwick at her previous start, and she damn near fell in the straight that day.
Yeah, she did. Like, she got the rise and she looked like she was going to go on and win or run a place or something, but she knocked up pretty badly, and a couple of horses got around her and got away from her, and they cut her off.
Yeah.
And she clipped heels and nearly fell. Yeah, so it was a good run first up.
You weren't surprised by the win yesterday, then?
Not at all. No, she obviously goes pretty good.
OK, mate, now the final event, you ride one of John Sizer's trio here, Steel Phoenix. Darren Beedman and Larry Cassidy go hell for leather over the last 200 metres. They have a titanic tussle.
Shine Over, Vitronite, Expect a Star, Bombast and Mr. Prudent. Around the bend, Dynamic Blaze on the outside, just in front of Regal Zero. Simmer the fence, Lanland running on. Beedman shakes up Regal Zero. Dynamic Blaze won't go away, and Simmer's coming on the fence. Regal Zero in front. Simmer's coming after him on the rail from Dynamic Blaze. The whips are cracking. Simmer the inside and Regal Zero. Regal Zero, Beedman lifting the favourite. Coming at him, Simmer. Regal Zero in front. Fell in and won at a short half head. Regal Zero won it from Simmer, and Lanland third from Dynamic Blaze, and still
7-4 favourite, 9-2 and 5-1. Darren Beedman, he rides a bit longer than the other jockeys, and he was kicking that horse to the line like an old-fashioned jockey. You don't see that very often.
He lifted it over the line.
Sure yeah, did. A great stoush right to the line between Larry Cassidy and Darren yesterday in that race. Something that we like to see in racing, and it was captured magnificently in a photograph in the Daily Telly this morning.
Yeah, terrific.
We'll see Larry in action in just a moment. But Brian, thanks once again for coming in this morning. Delighted to have you in here. Congratulations yesterday on Fairway. May it continue on its winning way over the carnival, and you too. Always a delight to see you, and we really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Tell the Duchess we were asking after her.
Yeah, for sure.
Will we get a report from the Duchess?
No doubt.
All right. By the way, for all those involved in the Magic Moments competition, which we've been running on Racing Retro for some time, the winner will be announced today, so hang around for that. Someone's going to win the Holden 1 Ton Rodeo. As we go to a break, we're going to check out the Black Opal preview, which was run at Canberra on Thursday. And have a look at this. Pembleton in action, winning and winning very handsomely, with Larry Cassidy aboard for trainer John Morrissey. And, well, look out, Golden Slipper.
Well back behind those, Pleasant Note, followed by Little Dreams Play Hour, and Glory to Glory last, but around the turn in the preview, and Pembleton down on the inside as the leader on the outside, Mr. Conductor. Royal Joke third on the inside, Preserve into the clear, giving the leaders a big start. Halidon down on the inside, followed by X-Ray, but he's bounded away, Pembleton, at the 200. The rider has a peep behind. He's under double wraps, out about 5 in front. Mr. Conductor second, followed by Preserve, but this is a cakewalk. Pembleton, under a stranglehold, races away to win the preview. He's won by about 8 lengths. Now second, Mr. Conductor, Preserve third, followed...
Captain